Alright, what is good? What is good? Today, we're ranking another 40 albums, another 40 big ones. This is my fourth ranking on this channel, which means that in a little over a year, I've listened to 160 albums. Yeah, definitely listened to a lot of music. I don't know if I would call myself qualified to be a critic or anything like that. I'm definitely not, but I'm loving it. This one I actually made a little bit quicker compared to my other list. I feel like I knew where I wanted to place things here. I'm definitely more subjective in this list. This one might be more controversial than my other ones. So we're gonna see how that goes. As always, if you guys have any other ideas besides album reviews and things like that that want me to explore and branch into in the future, doesn't even have to be music related. Just feel free to let me know. Coming in at number 40, it pains me to already do this. It pains me to already do this because like I'm, and I love this album. I should probably get off on a note by saying that I do like every album on this list, and I would return to every album on this list. My Buddy Valentine's self-titled. I love this album. Don't get me wrong. I just can't. I don't go back to it. I don't go back to it, to be honest. I feel like just the pace of it. Still admire so much of the ideas that are presented here, and I feel like they didn't lose track of time with this album. If this album came out, a few years after Loveless, I would have been like, oh, that makes sense. But just the fact that they still kept this sound so many years later, I find so impressive. Favorite song off of here is If I Am. Coming in next, listen, I don't even agree with this placement myself. I really don't. Race, Alex G. I love Alex G. Love Alex G. Even though I've only heard Trick and the ones that are trending on TikTok right now. I don't go back to it as much because most of my favorite songs are just not on here. I do love the title track. That's my favorite song. I gotta say, I think the title track, the ending to it, is one of the best parts in any Alex G song that I know. Coming in at 38, I got Lana Del Rey's Ultraviolence. I'm just kidding. It's Born to Die. I think listening to this one not first was a mistake because I really kind of get to see the part of her that, she was trying to develop the future ideas from this foundation. And I mean, I love a lot of the ideas presented here. I do think a lot of the lyrics are sort of cringe in some songs. It's a tough listen at times. I really don't like Off to the Races, but I do like Dark Paradise, Summertime Sadness, Blue Jeans, Video Games. I think that there's a lot of bangers off here. Coming in at 37, I got The Smile, Wall of Eyes. I don't know. I love this album. And then I was just like, okay, gonna go back to Radiohead now. I think maybe it being so new is kind of its detriment here. I kind of want to see how this album ages on me because I do love the sound of it, and there's not much that I can critique on it. It's just the memorable part of it that I kind of suffer from. But I still think it's a great project, and I love the production and just the way it hits my ears all across the album. Favorite track off here is the second track, Teleharmonic. Coming in at 36, this could be a really hot take. But it's going to be Black Sabbath's debut, self-titled. If Paranoid wasn't in this top 40, I wonder how much higher that this would have placed. I think the best thing that this album does is just kind of kick off the theme for what this band displays. It does that great off of the first song, title track, band name song, which I think is the best song off of here. It's very terrifying, very ominous, and I think it just kicks off this introduction to what they are so well. Does not mean I don't like it. It just means that there are other albums on this list that I'd return to, and I would be lying if I was placing this much higher. Coming in at 35, I got another crazy one. I got Led Zeppelin 2. I kind of saw this coming after I listened to it. I said after Led Zeppelin 1, my favorite tracks from Led Zeppelin are definitely the ones that tend to be a little bit more low-key, a little bit more laid back. I like when they mix those in with a noisier sound. On here, we kind of get more noise. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's not. It's just my ears. This is at the point where the list gets brutally subjective, and I still love this album. I admire all the guitar work and Robert Plant's vocals across the board. I can't say anything bad about it, but it's just, what I'm favorite track off here is the second one, What Is and What Should Never Be. Coming in at 34, I got George Clinton's Slide. A massive fan of the production all the way through. I think the biggest thing that I just hear when we're listening to this album is just the constant repetition and subject matter and just what he's talking about. I think the songwriting on this could definitely be better. Livin' Loose, in my opinion, is the best song on this album. The saxophone on that song really just gets me. Alright, this might be the craziest placement yet, but I promise y'all, like, I love all these albums. I'd give all these at least an 8 or a 9, you know, and it's unfair for these to look low. I got My Chemical Romance's Black Parade. I absolutely adore and love the energy that this album just fucking brings. It's so crazy. It's so loud. The angst that this guy has on the vocals, it really makes me feel like I was in high school during that time period. That I had the black hair. That I was a MySpace user. That's what this. But with that being said, I only get that feeling for so long until I kind of snap out of it. And then, I kind of listen to his vocals again, and I'm like, Unlike my last placement, though, I gotta say that this writing and the songwriting on here is probably my favorite part about it. A lot of it just cuts so deep. His song Cancer is insane. Insane. Sound-wise and song-wise overall, I think my favorite song is probably Shocker. Welcome to the Black Parade. At 32, I got Geese's 3D Country. I did love this album a lot. I thought it was an incredibly entertaining listen. One of the most entertaining listens that I've had first listen in a while. Favorite track off of here is Gravity Blues. I loved his vocals and the harmonies all across that song. I thought that shit was perfect. It's definitely one of my favorites that I have listened to within this list so far. Coming at 31, I got Giles Corey's self-titled. If I was majorly depressed, this would be number one. This would be number one. This would be my medication. You feel this guy's sadness so hard that it almost makes you uncomfortable. It almost makes you feel like you're intruding on his mind to listen to. Favorite song off of here is The Blackest Bio. That shit is crazy. Coming in at the big 30, I got, what do I have? I have The Strokes' Room on Fire. I think what the Strokes do best is just consistency. Consistency from song to song to song. I feel so comfortable whenever I listen to one of their albums because I know that all I'm going to get is quality, all hits, no misses. I think my biggest issue with the Strokes, and not the new Abnormal. That's my favorite album by them. But I feel like for this one, it's just me trying to return to which song. You know what I mean? Like which favorite is my favorite off of here. So it is kind of hard for me to pick favorites off of here. And, I'm that kind of person that likes to pick a song off an album, throw it in that playlist, grab another song, put it in that one right over there. So this one is just so consistent that it's just a little hard for me to do that. I also think that when it comes to, listening to one of their albums from start to finish, is the better option as well. So this is kind of the middle ground between that album and the new Abnormal for me. Favorite song off of here is 1251. At 29, I got Swans with The Seer. I give Swans an applause every time because, making me sit through 2 hours of music, it's not an easy thing for me to do. Starting this channel in the first place definitely helped increase my attention span to music like this. And I feel like if I listened to this when I started out, I would have wanted to blow my brain out. But I'm definitely more accustomed. I do like this album a lot. I love a lot of the drone aspects. A lot of it is just very horrifying to me. Favorite song off of here has got to be A Piece of the Sky. Definitely one of my favorite Swan songs in general as well. Coming in at 28, I got Can's Tago Mago. Speaking of fun listens, once again, this is Gun Pecking O. I think that's the song. Incredibly crazy songs. There's no doubt about it that this album is groundbreaking. It's just crazy for me to listen to. Once I listen to this album off of shrooms, I will be able to give you an accurate analysis. All right, and I'll come back to this video and I'll update my placement. But yeah, definitely still mind blowing. I watched a movie called On the Silver Globe. I think I mentioned it in that video too. This album kind of reminded me of that movie. I don't know why. They're not related at all. Favorite song off of here, Gotta Be Mushroom. Coming in at 27, I got Aphex Twin's Cyro. This is an incredibly fun homework listen. I said in the video that I would listen to this while doing some homework, and I did do that, and it did work. This album it's great. Kind of like Drugs in the way that it does kind of caters to every emotion a little bit. You got 180 dBs with the little banger. You got that last song, what's it called? Tana, little piano cut, something to get really sad to, and you got other songs that kind of get sophisticated too. I think this album off of Adderall would be insane. Coming in at 26, I got Luke Reed's Transformer. There's a lot of songs off here that I just don't really click with, but I can't deny that the highs on here are absolutely insane. Take a Walk on the Wild Side, Vicious, Perfect Day, the three most popular songs, whatever. All of them are insane. I think I would appreciate this album more as well if I listen to the other Velvet Underground albums that I am missing, which I am going to review. Coming in at 25, I got Grouper with Alien Observer. I remember when I reviewed this, I listened to this outside actually, and it was like snowing, and I was actually freezing. I was freezing really bad. But this album was just it was fitting the vibe so well. It's definitely one of the most memorable first album listening experiences I've had on this channel. I love ambient. Love ambient. If there's something that I will always be biased to, it will be ambient music. If I wasn't fucking with ambient, then this would be a lot lower on the list. Or higher, whatever way that works. Favorite track is the title track, but a lot of these just, kind of connecting me so well that it's hard for me to pick one. At 24, I got Lana Del Rey's Ocean Boulevard. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? This is one of the greatest albums that I've heard by an artist that kind of really throws me right into their fucking world. Throws me right into their head. Her songwriting on here is the best it's ever been. Instrumentation is crazy. Her and Father John Misty on Let the Light. With all that being said, you might be like, oh, why is it 24? Why is it 24? I think if I was Lana Del Rey, it would be number one. That's what I think. At 23, I got Fleet Fox's Helplessness Blues. Love the sound of this album. So consistent. Such a consistent record from front to back. I think once I do end up finding myself in the streets of Scotland or Ireland, because I don't know why, I imagine this kind of sound. Favorite track off of here is Battery Kinsey. Coming in at 22, I got Quadeca with Scrapyard. It's crazy to see him go in a lot of different directions on here, although a lot of these I guess are considered leftovers from his past project, which I don't know how this is a 9. I'm gonna say I didn't mean to haunt you. It's the better record. I feel like the main thing that this album is kind of lacking as a concept, which I guess the concept of this album is that they're all scraps. Favorite song off of this is Texas Blue. It might be my favorite song by him as well. Him and Kevin Abstract go insane. At number 21, I got Tidal Flight's Floral Green. After re-listening to this, I think that my ears still aren't fully developed to their more aggressive sound, but their little mellow shoegaze tracks on here, that hits the spot. That hits me just right. Definitely could see those tracks developing to be my favorite songs that I've listened to this year. In Between and Head of the Ceiling are just perfect in my opinion. I love Lefty as well. And I hope that I can get used to their more aggressive cuts as well when I do another album by them. Coming in at 20, I got Replica by Oneohtrix Point Never. Y'all know how I am with the mixture of ambient and electronic and just weird shit that I never heard of. I love this album. I return to it on a frequent basis. Surprisingly, I love the ambient tracks the most on here as well. I think the tracks that I tend to not really enjoy are the ones that are kind of just like vocal sampling a little bit. Those ones aren't for me on here, but I still admire every song on here because they all fit together so well and so perfectly. There's not anything off of here that stands out of place. The title track is insane. Love the intro, outro. I love the way that we're just kind of smoothly transported into this random world. My favorite off of here easily is Submersible. I have fallen asleep to that track many a time. At 19, had to do it. Dean Blunt, Black Metal 2. Y'all know how I am with Dean Blunt. I shouldn't have to say much from here. I am extremely biased. Towards Dean Blunt. I will say that. Love black metal. Since this album is so short, I've listened to this from start to finish like 15, 20 times since I've listened to this. It was the first one I did listen to on this list, so I did have the most time to kind of age with it. The Rot might be my favorite song by him now. It might be. It might overtake 100. There's a chance. And I had 100 high as fuck on my year-end list for songs. At number 18, I got Brand New's The Devil and God Are Raging Inside of Me. Crazy first listen. This blew me the fuck away. Is it top heavy? Maybe a little bit. But then again, who cares? Not the Sun, it's deep as hell into the album. That song is a banger. Sowing Season and Millstone just back to back. Those two are undefeated. If I listen to one, I always gotta listen to the other. Coming in at 17, I actually just reviewed this legit 2 days ago, is Mazzy Star's So Tonight I Might See. The slower cuts on this album are the ones that I'm not really a fan of, like the last song and Wasted, but Jesus, Fade Into You is insane. Fade Into You is wild. Blue Light as well. Into Dust, 5-String Serenade. There's just so many tracks off this album that I'm going to be returning to in the future. So I am investing putting this at 17. I am investing. I hope that I return to this video and I'm like, okay, that's a good place. At 16, I got FK Twigs with Magdalene. Love the incredibly watery production and angelic vocals that she has on here. There was rarely a moment on this album that my ears were turned off by anything. Her writing on every song too was gut-wrenching. gut-wrenching, to say the least. Favorite songs off of here is definitely Mary Magdalene, Sad Day, Home With You, Home With You. Home. At 15, I got Elliott Smith's XO. This is rapidly growing to be my favorite Elliott Smith album. I don't know why. I kind of do like the diverse production that we got going on a lot of these here. He is experimenting. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. The opener, Sweet Adeline, is so intense. That blew me the fuck away when I first listened to this. My other favorite song, and the reason why I actually am placing it so high, is a song off the deluxe, Miss Misery. That's my favorite song by him. That is my favorite song by him, no doubt. I also watched Good Will Hunting. At number 14, I got Lana Del Rey, once again with Norman fucking Rockwell. This is my first album that I listened to by her, so instrumentally this album does so good. With Cinnamon Girl, Venice Bitch, which might be her best song. The guitar work on this album, front to back, is wild as well. This whole thing just blows me away. Greatest might be my favorite song by her. It might be. The greatest might be the one. All right, at number 13. At 12, I got Death Grips with Bottomless Pit. Half of this album misses me. But the other half, let me tell you, one of the craziest intros I've heard ever. I love switching up with the quieter sound on tracks like and Trash. Ring a Bell is my favorite song by them, period. And I don't know, man, he's just all up in his glory hole. That's all I gotta say. At number 11, Volume Alpha. This would be number 1 if I never played Minecraft before, because I think that this album is so one with the game. I personally, and this is probably a hot take, surprisingly, I can't listen to this album without playing Minecraft, thinking about Minecraft, wanting to play Minecraft. It's just too in that universe for me. I can't imagine myself listening to this outside, or else I might start punching a tree for real. I might start trying to get some dime. Very hard for me to pick a favorite track on here. I honestly don't think I can, but if you're really pulling me, Mice on Venus. Okay, top 10. Big top 10. At number 10, I got Black Sabbath's Paranoid. This album is just such a fucking roller coaster. Ever since I listened to it. Project has definitely opened my eyes, and my expectations, honestly, were blown out of the water, because I was expecting something similar to their first record, even though I knew that this was going to be better just based off what the critics were saying. Now, are the first 4 better than the second 4? Absolutely. I will say that the first 4 are perfect, are still amazing. Iron Man's gotta be my favorite. I love Planet Caravan though. That shit is so chill. At number 9, I got Led Zeppelin 1. This album does not miss at all, song for song. All right, and like I said earlier, there was more of the kind of chill, low key cuts on here as well. So similar to Paranoid as well, this album also kind of felt like a roller coaster of emotions. You know, even though all the songs are just kind of about a girl. You know, it's okay though. It's okay. Just the talent that we hear in his vocals and everything is just such a crazy intro to this band in general. Favorite track off of here is I Can't Quit You, Babe. At number 8, I got also an incredibly recent one. We got Milton Nascimento's and Los Borges, Club de Esquina. This album also does not miss at all. I think it's perfect. The vocal work by these two is mind-boggling to me. The production goes in so many different creative and unique ways that I don't expect. I mean, and I just felt surprised by the change of every song on here, even though they all kind of stay in the same lane a little bit. Favorite song off of here is Trem de Doido. I think that's how you say it, maybe, I don't know. At 7, I got Gustavo Cerati's Bocanada. I love how vibrant this album feels. The variation in production from song to song makes me feel like I'm just in an underwater aquarium, and I'm just exploring different exhibits of fish that I've never seen before. That's how this feels. I don't have anything remotely bad to say about this album. Bocanada, the title track, is my favorite song. At number 6, I got Erykah Badu's Mama's Gun. Although this album, I don't think the first half of it is perfect, the way that we come out of this is wild. This album features some of my favorite songs that I've listened to on this channel, period. Didn't You Know, AD 2000, Orange Moon, such a vibe to listen to. I cannot wait till I get the opportunity to light a candle, maybe open a book. At number 5, I got The Doors' Self-Titled. I think the mystique behind Jim Morrison adds so much quality to this album in general. I was watching a few live performances of, these guys, and it's crazy. I was watching a few interviews by him as well. It's definitely not a first listen and fall in love with album, I'll tell you that right now. It definitely takes a few. It took a few for me, but I feel like, we're just witnessing a poet at work here, and it's hard for me to keep Light My Fire out of my mind for at least an hour. At number 4, I got JPEG Mafia's LP. It just hits so hard. I can't put it any lower. The mix on this is insane between him and his vocals. I also am biased towards self-produced albums. It just makes it feel a lot more raw, and he just seems so connected with the instrumentals as well. What kind of rapping is this? Nemo, Hazard Duty Pay, Dirty, Trust, so many good songs. At number three, at number three, I'm putting Ultraviolence by Lana. Some of the craziest songs I've ever listened to is on here, I'm gonna say it for real. I know people hate this album. That's okay. That's okay. I know me and you aren't the same. I know me and you aren't the same. This album doesn't hit your cortex like it hits mine, all right? And that's okay. We can have our differences. It's probably one of my favorite 5-track runs in history. Crew World, Ultraviolence, Brooklyn Baby, West Coast, Shades of Cool has got to be my favorite song by here. It's got to be my favorite song. It's one of my favorites I've listened to on this channel, if not my favorite. Speaking of highlights that I can't ignore, I gotta go. Number 2, Death Grips, The Powers That Be. Is it weird for me to say that I actually like the first half of this album just as the second half, if not more? I'm obsessed with the Björk samples. I love the production on this album. It's easily my favorite. I think maybe I put it over The Money Store. I'm not entirely sure yet. You know what I'm saying? It definitely features some of their best songs. On GP, Centuries of Damn. Up My Sleeves in the Gym is undefeated. It will always be undefeated. It will always be undefeated. The energy of that track alone almost made me buy tickets to see them. But yeah, this album offers me everything. I'd be going like this, and then I'd be crying. So at number 1, the big number 1, I guess, is Pet Sounds. I don't like putting this number 1 because I thought that this was gonna be a bad listen going in. I didn't think that I was gonna like this album going into it. I thought I was gonna get some like old school boy band bullshit. You know what I mean? But no. This almost made me delete all of my discography. Brian Wilson is a genius. He's a genius. There's not much more to say. The way he pours himself out on every song, not this song or that song. Every time that I think, I'm done getting punched, it's just another round. It's just another round. I keep getting fucked. I don't have a bad thing to say about this album. If there's anything on this channel that has come close to a 10 so far, it is this. I mean, there's probably some other albums that I consider a 10 at this point, but this is close as fuck. And yeah, like I said, I am kind of bitter at the fact that I put a 1966 album at number 1, an album that I was not expecting to like, an album that I was just like, oh, well, critics will say this about it, and I'm gonna be different. But no, that's not the case. That's not the case here. It's likely that I'm never gonna write a song the same way ever again after listening to this. Caroline No might be. That song is insane. Don't Talk. Oh my god. Don't Talk, bro. Don't Talk. Here Today. The shit that he says on Here Today is insane. But yeah, that's what I gotta say about this list right now. I put this together pretty fast. Even though I think that it is pretty accurate. I think maybe a week from now I might be like, damn, why the fuck did I put that there? Why'd I put that there? But that's the beauty behind lists like these, is that we can all disagree and we can all age. So yeah, thank you for watching. Comment the first album you want me to review from in the next 40 seasons. And thank you so much for being here and supporting me. I wanted to announce that I am going to be opening a Patreon soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love and appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.